231 people vanished overnight. No bodies, no notes, no explanation. Breakfast still warm on the tables. A child's crayon still rolling across the floor. A radio still playing to an empty room. This is the story of Aldenmore, and nobody has ever been able to explain what happened here. There are places on maps that no longer exist. Towns with names, with histories, with entire lives buried inside them. And then one morning, silence. Aldenmore was a quiet village of 231 people, tucked into the valley between Harrow's Ridge and Black Creek. A church, a schoolhouse, a hardware store. Families who had lived there for generations. On the night of October 14th, 1987, every single one of them disappeared. It started with a truck driver. He pulled off the road just after 5 a.m. looking for directions. He walked through the village calling out, knocked on doors, looked through windows. Nothing. He drove to the nearest payphone and called the police. State Trooper Dana Wyrick arrived at 6 a.m. What she found, she would later describe as the most disturbing scene of her entire career. And she never once used the word frightening. She used the word wrong. Chairs pulled back from tables, food still warm, lights still on in half the houses. A television playing the morning news to an empty living room. In one home, a woman's knitting sat mid-stitch on the armrest of a chair, as if she had simply put it down for a moment. 231 people. Not a single one remained. Authorities moved fast. Within 48 hours, the valley was swarming with investigators, federal agents, and journalists. They ruled out gas leaks. The air was clean. They ruled out flooding. The ground was bone dry. Ruled out a cult, mass migration, foul play. One by one, every theory was tested, and one by one, every theory failed. What they were left with was something that doesn't fit neatly into any report. 231 people. No remains, no trail, no communication before or after. Not a single Aldenmore resident was ever found. Not one. The case was eventually filed under a category that tells you everything and nothing at the same time. Unexplained mass disappearance. People from neighbouring towns remembered Aldenmore the way you remember a dream. Clearly at first, then in pieces, then with a strange hollow feeling, like trying to recall a face you used to know. One woman, Eleanor Hatch, grew up 2 valleys away. She was interviewed 3 times over the years, and every time she said the same thing. We used to hear singing from that valley on clear nights, not church singing, something older. My grandmother always said the valley was alive. She said one day it would want its people back. I used to laugh at that. She paused. I don't laugh at it anymore. Here is where the story gets stranger. In 1994, a geological survey team working in the valley made a discovery that was quietly buried in a footnote of a government report. Beneath Aldenmore, beneath the church, the schoolhouse, the old mill, they found the foundations of a much older settlement, pre-colonial, possibly prehistoric. There was no record of who had built it, or when, or why they had left. But they had left. Suddenly, all at once. Same valley, same silence, same empty rooms. Just centuries earlier. The houses of Aldenmore are still standing. The state never demolished them. Legally, the properties still belong to people who don't exist anymore, or at least can't be found. No contractor has agreed to take the job either, not officially anyway. The road into the valley is unmarked. The signpost disappeared in 1991. No record of who removed it. People still go there. Hikers, true crime enthusiasts, journalists who want to write the definitive piece and instead come back quiet. Most describe the same feeling when they arrive, a heaviness, a sense that the air itself is watching, like walking into a room where an argument just ended and everyone is pretending it didn't. Some people go and come back changed. Some people go and don't come back at all. There are places on maps that no longer exist, and maybe, just maybe, that is exactly the way those places wanted. 231 people. One valley, one night in October. No answers, no remains, no goodbye. Just a radio still playing, a crayon still rolling across a floor. And somewhere deep beneath that valley, if you listen closely enough, something singing. If you made it this far, what do you think happened to Aldenmore? Drop your theory in the comments.